While practicing my freestyle floor plan at home, I was finding I wasn't getting quite enough walk steps in at the end. So my instructor suggested that we could cut off the end of the arena slightly and create more of a 20-metre half circle in the trot, so that when the walk starts, we can then walk on a diagonal and meet the centre line slightly further down than I was before. This looks a lot better and creates much less of a sharp angle than what we were getting before, so this worked really well. Obviously, it depends in the actual freestyle competition. This might not be necessary depending on the size of school, the arenas. Different arenas ride differently. But it's really nice to have this as an option if I'm finding that I'm getting there a little bit late and not having enough walk steps. So after the first run through, my instructor immediately said that I needed to improve Jack's reactions going into and coming out of each movement to make them really, really clear. So this is something that we worked on at the beginning. Another thing I was finding in my freestyle tests is that I was getting to the trot leg yield part quite early after the canter, and it wasn't giving me a lot of time to change to each movement. So my instructor suggested, if this does happen in the competition, just to collect the canter into the last simple change, just to give me a little bit more time. What this lesson did help me realise is that I really do know the music a lot better than I thought. Knowing the music inside and out is so much more helpful, as it just allows me to adjust the floor plan to the music while I'm actually riding it, rather than having to ensure I'm riding to a marker to remember the movements. So it's really good to be able to adjust it now I know the music as well as I do. After having this lesson to run through my floor plan, I feel like I've got a lot more tools when I'm at the competition to adjust things while we're going through it, whether that's to speed up a few little bits or collect the movements a little or shave off corners. After all the training preparation for our area festival freestyle, I decided to book our first competition at our local venue at Berry Farm. So this meant that Jack needed a very good bath before, as you can see, he was quite dirty. So we had a good bath the night before, bit of a tidy up, all ready for the show the next day. Jack warmed up really, really nicely in the outdoor arena. The weather was extremely hot, so that was a little bit of a challenge for us, but luckily we'd only booked the one competition that day, so we were just doing the freestyle, which meant that I could give him a really good warm-up before our test. He went very nicely in the outdoor, he was happy, he was nice and through and quite loose, because sometimes when we get to a show he can be a bit tight round the shoulder, just a little bit of tension knowing that he's at a competition, and probably a little bit from me as well. After we warmed up in the outdoor, we then moved to the indoor for 5 minutes before our test was due to start. I used these 5 minutes before our test just to walk him around, as it was very warm in there, using lots of stretching techniques and making sure he was listening before we headed off into the main arena. Here we are going through our elementary freestyle test. Overall, I felt like Jack went quite well during our test. The only problem, he did back off a little bit from the warm-up, as from the warm-up he was going really nice and energetically, and there was lots of jump, but I think it was due to the weather and he was probably getting a little bit tired. Overall, I was pleased with how he did. He was nice and forward in the medium canters and the medium trots. We got our score sheets back and we scored 71.15%, which I'm really, really pleased with. The parts that I thought were a little bit more challenging, like the leg yield, let him down. But overall, the judge really, really loved our floor plan, which was great. And he also received lots of 8s for his medium canter and his halts and things like that. Our comments were, well done, you kept us on our toes, very inventive and liked the music. So overall, I couldn't ask for more than that. and it also means we have our first area festival qualification in the bag. A couple of weeks later we headed back out to try and gain our second score and get our overall qualification for our freestyle. Jack went really nicely again, and I was really surprised to see that we scored 75.77%, which is our highest score we've ever achieved. So I was over the moon with that, and it means we have both scores in the bag now and we can head off to an area festival. I've really enjoyed the process of trying to get to an area festival in our freestyle. It also really shows how much work and training you've put in, as our first time trying to get there was last year. We qualified with scores of 67 and 68% or thereabouts, whereas this year we've qualified with scores of 71.15 and 75.77%. So we're obviously getting there. The training's paying off. So I'm really, really pleased to be going to our next area festival and see how we get on.